Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, where I talk about everything related to Spider-Man. In today's video, I'm going to explore the mystery of Spider-Man 4, the cancelled sequel that never saw the light of day. Why did Sony scrap the project after everything was confirmed? What went wrong with Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man reboot? And what are the latest rumors about the possible return of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the MCU and the Spider-Verse? If you're a fan of the webhead, you don't want to miss this video, so make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notifications. And without further ado, let's get into it. Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be the fourth and final installment of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Starring Tobey Maguire as the iconic hero, the film was planned for a 2011 release, with John Malkovich as the villainous Vulture and Anne Hathaway as the Black Cat, a cat burglar who would have a romantic relationship with Peter Parker. The script was written by David Lindsay-Abaire, who had previously worked with Raimi on the fantasy film Oz the Great and Powerful. The film was also set to feature the return of Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, and Dylan Baker as Dr. Kurt Connors, who would finally transform into the Lizard. However, the project was cancelled by Sony in January 2010. After creative differences between Raimi and the studio, Raimi wanted to make a film that would redeem the disappointing Spider-Man 3, which was widely criticized for having too many villains, a messy plot, and an out-of-character Peter Parker. But Sony wanted to include more characters and subplots, such as Venom and the Sinister Six, to set up future spin-offs and sequels. Raimi felt that he couldn't deliver a quality film under these conditions, and decided to walk away from the franchise. Sony then rebooted the series with The Amazing Spider-Man, starring Andrew Garfield as a younger and edgier version of Peter Parker. But this reboot also failed to meet the expectations of fans and critics, who found it too similar to the original trilogy, too reliant on CGI, and too crowded with villains and subplots. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was especially panned for its convoluted story, poor characterization, and rushed setup for a Sinister Six movie that never happened. After the poor performance of the reboot, Sony decided to strike a deal with Marvel Studios to share the rights to Spider-Man and introduce a new version of the character, played by Tom Holland, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But what if Spider-Man 4 had actually happened? What would the story have been like? Well, according to Raimi himself, the film would have focused on Peter Parker's redemption. After he had alienated his friends and loved ones in Spider-Man 3, he would have faced a new challenge from the Vulture, an old and bitter criminal who uses a winged harness to fly and steal. The Vulture would have been a contrast to Spider-Man, as he represented the dark side of aging and regret. He would have also been the main antagonist of the film, unlike Spider-Man 3, which had three villains competing for screen time. The Black Cat would have been a new love interest for Peter, who would have tempted him to embrace his darker side as well. She would have also been revealed to be the daughter of the Vulture. Adding more drama and conflict to the story, the film would have also featured the Lizard, who would have been a friend turned foe for Peter, as he tried to cure his missing arm with reptilian DNA. The Lizard would have been a secondary villain, who would have helped Peter realize the importance of his humanity and his responsibility as Spider-Man. The film would have explored the themes of forgiveness, redemption, and responsibility, as Peter tried to balance his personal and superhero life, and make amends with those he had hurt. The film would have also shown the consequences of Peter's actions in Spider-Man 3, such as the public's distrust of Spider-Man, the death of Harry Osborn, and the breakup with Mary Jane. The film would have aimed to deliver a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy, while also leaving some room for potential sequels or spin-offs. But what about the recent rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back to reprise their roles as Spider-Man in the MCU and the Spider-Verse? Well, according to some reliable sources, such as Collider, there is some truth to these speculations, apparently. Both Maguire and Garfield have signed on to appear in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the sequel to the 2016 film that introduced the concept of alternate realities and dimensions. The film, directed by Sam Raimi himself, will explore the consequences of Spider-Man: No Way Home, which opened the doors to the multiverse and brought back villains and heroes from different Spider-Man universes. Maguire and Garfield will reportedly join Tom Holland's Spider-Man in a team-up against a new threat, possibly the evil sorcerer Mordo, who vowed to destroy all magic users in the post-credit scene of the first Doctor Strange film. The film is also rumored to feature other characters from the Spider-Verse, such as Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Man 2099, but that's not all. There is also a possibility that Maguire and Garfield will return for their own solo films, or at least appear in other Spider-Man-related projects, according to Dexerto and Screen Rant. Sony is interested in making Spider-Man 4 with Maguire and Raimi, as well as The Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Garfield. These films would continue the stories of their respective Spider-Man universes, and possibly tie in with the events of the multiverse. For example, Spider-Man 4 could feature the Vulture and the Black Cat, as well as the Lizard and Venom, who were teased in the previous films. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 could feature the Sinister Six, as well as the resurrection of Gwen Stacy, who died in the second film. These films could also explore the emotional journeys of their Spider-Men, as they deal with the loss, guilt, and redemption that come with being a hero. These films are not confirmed yet, but there is a lot of fan demand and support for them, as well as hints from the actors and filmmakers themselves. For instance, people reported that Maguire said he would love to work with Raimi again, and Garfield said he would be open to return as Spider-Man if the story was right. Raimi also said he would be interested in making Spider-Man 4 with Maguire, as he still loves the character and the trilogy he made. So, there is a chance that these films could happen, and we could see more of Maguire and Garfield's Spider-Man in the future. So, what do you think? Are you excited for the possibility of seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man? Do you think Sony will make Spider-Man 4 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3? Or do you think these are just rumors and wishful thinking? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Spider-Man content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Team GTR signing off.